Yes.
Obama's re-election strategy seems to center on citizenship and illegal immigrants.
Sure sounded like that this morning, didn't it?
Do you comment on your thoughts on illegal immigration?
The question is illegal immigration. What's my thoughts on that? I'm tempted to just simply do what Sonny Bono did when he was asked, while he's still living, asked that same question, where do you stand on illegal immigration? And he looked up from the table and he said, what was that first word again? And the questioner said, illegal. He says, then carry out the law. Next question. We have plenty of law in place right now, and Arizona has shown us by simply taking the federal law and putting it into state language and referencing the federal codes to make it even clearer. We have the laws. We need to enforce them. But beyond that, to see what the president, even what he was saying today about using the Declaration of Independence and the Statue of Liberty, and not even telling the truth about what the Statue of Liberty stands for. She's not holding a lantern, showing people the way to liberty. She's stepping forward and taking liberty to the rest of the world. The people are coming because they know that liberty is here already. And I think on the issue of legal immigration, Reagan said it well. Let's make sure that the gates swing wide for freedom, swing wide and free. But make sure that those that walk through understand that they speak our language and abide by our laws. And I would add to Reagan, with a little bit of fear and trepidation, adding to Reagan, see it. I would say, and sign the guest book. Document. And I think there are ways we can provide secure documentation so that employers who will employ legal immigrants will know that they're legal, and that if they are legal, we'll also know what they're here for, who they are, how long they're going to be, why they're supposed to be here, and when they go back. And I think most Americans will say, that's fine. But when you encourage illegal immigration, and now, when it appears like we're encouraging it for replacement votes, because this administration is losing the support of American people, the general voter, because they're saying this doesn't make sense. Now he needs a new base of voters. We've got to stop that.
First of all, you had the right answer for that on medical issue. Second of all, I love this man's signs. We're paying billions and billions of dollars to trying to interest payments. What are you going to do to reduce the debt? Not, cut taxes or anything like that. What are you going to do to reduce the debt?
Well, the only way to reduce the debt is to grow the economy and cut spending.
Thank you.
There are only two ways to grow the economy and cut spending, and they're the same way. Cut taxes, cut spending. Cut spending.
No, don't cut taxes.
Yeah, cut taxes.
No.
Every time we cut, well, you ask my answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Every time we cut taxes, whether it's Kennedy, whether it's Reagan, whether it's Clinton, whether it's even George W. Bush, we've grown the economy. In Michigan, it was John Engler cutting taxes, we grew the economy. But you got to cut spending, because when you cut taxes, you grow revenue. People have their own money. They spend, they invest.
But we're not paying the debt down.
You grow the economy, you pay the debt down. Number one,
it hasn't happened since Reagan. So don't even give me that. It hasn't happened since Reagan.
Okay, give me your answer.
Cut spending and raise taxes to pay the debt down.
Okay, well, you can take it that way.
You just talked about illegal immigration, and we're building walls, and that's bigger government. So you got to have a government to stop the illegals. You can't have a smaller government and talk about.
Historically, when you cut taxes, you raise revenue. The problem is that when you raise revenue, government spends it. So my response, how do we reduce the spending? We go to every secretary of each department. We go to the secretaries of the Department of Energy, Department of State. We go to the Secretary of Education. We go to Secretary of Commerce. You know what I'm getting at. And we say, you got to cut from your budget 5%. Taxpayers are doing it. They're doing more. Businesses are cutting more than that. Cut 5%. Or pick a number. But it's your responsibility. Cut that percentage. I don't care where you do it. But get it done. Then we don't have all sorts of members of Congress arguing about, well, you can't cut that, or if you're going to cut that, then I'm not going to cut this. Just tell them that's their responsibility. I want to see a 5%, I want to see 8%, I want to 3%, whatever. I want to see that cut across the board. We stop spending, we're not borrowing as much anymore. We grow our economy, we're not borrowing as much anymore. We're paying down the debt. When you hear a politician say we've got to have a zero increase budget, we've got to hold the line on spending. Say, no, that's not enough. That's not what a taxpayer's doing. They're cutting. That's not what businesses are doing. They're cutting. And that's what has to be done. And don't raise taxes, because then you give total disincentive for me to achieve and go on. And that happens every time.